What's up, everybody? So today I'm going to tell about how me and my friends got caught by Bart police hopping on Bart on the way back home after exploring the abandoned buildings. So for those of you that don't know what Bart is basically the subway system, but we call it Bart over here. I'm not sure why, but it's basically the subway system. So me and my friends went to go explore these abandoned buildings, and we had to go to this place called Treasure Island, and to get there we had to go to San Francisco. And there was a big weather change on Treasure Island in San Francisco and just everywhere in general that I wanted to mention. When me and my friends were in our city, it was like 100 fucking degrees. It was blazing hot. And once we got to San Francisco, it was way cooler. But when we got to the island, it was just really fucking windy and just really chilly. So we usually take the BART to get to places because we don't have a car. So we go to the BART station by taking bus, and what we always do is that we hop BART. And when I mean hop BART, I mean we don't pay for BART because BART is way too fucking expensive. Now, our station that we always have to go through first is considered one of the hardest stations to hop because the booth is right next to the machines that you put your tickets in and you have to go through. And usually there's a BART worker or BART police inside the booth just looking at everyone. So what we always do when we don't have the chance to hop is that we always pay for the cheapest tickets just to get through, and we get on BART, and once we get to our station we just hop on out of there regardless if we get caught. And the reason why we hop on out of there is because the tickets won't go through, because the machines will know that your ticket isn't the ticket that you paid for to get to that station. So you either hop or you're fucked, because if you tell a BART worker that your ticket doesn't work and you try to play it off, they'll check your ticket and they'll find out what you did. So we always hop on out of there with or without a ticket, if we paid or if we didn't pay, because we're already at our stop, so if anything happens we can just make a run for it. And we've always hopped BART to get to our stop or just to get home, and we never got into any serious trouble or any type of serious confrontation. So we ride BART to San Francisco, and my camera batteries died on BART, so I couldn't record the trip. So I told my friends this, and they just told me to steal batteries. Now, I wasn't really on board with all of that because, well, I used to steal a fucking lot, but I gave up the whole stealing thing because it's just not what I do anymore, really. But I was like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. I need batteries. So we get off at the stop that we usually get off at, and right next to the stop there's a 7-Eleven that we always go to, and right next to that 7-Eleven there's a Walgreens. So I tell my friends we need batteries first. So we go into the Walgreens and we walk around for a bit looking for the batteries, and we finally find the batteries. And I don't think I was supposed to do this, but the batteries were over the counter, kind of like how liquor stores have things like alcohol and cigarettes behind the counter, and you're supposed to ask an employee to get you that stuff. It was kind of like that, but I just walked over the counter and grabbed the batteries that I needed, and I got some weird faces at me from the people that were in line. So anyways, I have the batteries, and I walked back to my friends, and they were like, "Dude, are you actually going to buy those batteries? Just walk out with them." And it was pretty sketchy because the store wasn't so big, it was pretty small. So I told them that we're going to buy snacks here anyways, so might as well buy the batteries. But then they were like, no, dude, the snacks at 7-Eleven are way cheaper. So I was like, okay, fine, how about this? You guys stay here and I'm gonna go check 7-Eleven if they have snacks that are cheaper and batteries. And I had a feeling they were going to do this, so I go into the 7-Eleven, and the 7-Eleven is way smaller, and I'm looking around for a good 2 minutes, and I look at the front entrance, and I see my friends walk in, and one of them has the batteries in his hand. And he's like, "Dude, I just walked out with it." So I'm like, this motherfucker. So then we got the snacks at 7-Eleven, and yeah, that's how we got the batteries. So anyways, we make our way to Treasure Island by getting on a bus, and we hop on that too. We went onto the back of the bus, and most of the time, if you use San Francisco buses, you can just hop on the back. I don't know if it's because the bus drivers don't give a shit, or if it's because they don't notice, but most people do that, including me and my friends. So we get to Treasure Island, and we go to explore the buildings, and a whole bunch of crazy shit goes down, and I have the video about that. It's about an hour long, and so all that happens. So after our exploration, we decided to head back home, and we hop on bus and we head back to San Francisco, and we go to the BART station so we can get home. And the station that we always take is one of the easiest stations to hop. We always hop that shit, and we never had any problems or never got caught. It's super easy to get through, and it's one of my favorite stations to hop. So we get to the station and we go in it as usual, and we're about to do what we always do whenever we're at this station, which is to go through the emergency exit. And the emergency exit is just a small slide through door. It's nothing serious. It doesn't have an alarm or anything. It's just a slide through door. So once we get into the station, we see a janitor facing our direction. So if we went in, the janitor would have clearly seen us. So it was pretty risky because obviously he works there, and if he doesn't report what we're doing, he could get in trouble, so he most likely would have told if we went in. And right behind the janitor, there's another emergency exit, and we see people go through it while the janitor's facing our way. So basically people are going in through the emergency exit while the janitor has his back turned. So me and my friends are waiting for the janitor to turn his back around so we can just go in. And he's taking forever, and he's not turning around, he's just facing our direction. So me and my friends are like, alright, we gotta do something already and just get in. So we try to find another way in, so we start walking up ahead, and once we start walking like 10 feet away, we see the janitor finally turn around, and he's not looking into our direction anymore. So stupidly, instead of going back to the emergency exit, we were like, alright, he's not looking, but we already walked away from the emergency exit, so let's just hop this little glass wall right here. Now, it was no biggie because we've done this before, so before we hopped it, we took a real good look around and everything seemed perfectly fine. We could have sworn there was no one looking at us or nothing like that. So I hop first and I get over easily. Then my other friend hops over and he gets over fine. And then my other friend who was with us, who's a little bit of a bigger guy, he hops over and he doesn't hop over correctly. So when he hops over, he makes a bunch of noise and he hits his leg. So we just laugh about it, but it causes a lot of noise. So as we're walking to the escalators and the stairs, we see this one girl with some huge ass bike that just walks through the emergency exit. And that sucked because we had to hop over this glass wall and cause a little scene, all because the janitor was looking our direction. So we go down the escalators and the stairs to where Bart comes, and I'm walking down the stairs and I'm walking pretty slowly, and my friends are rushing down. They tell me to hurry up. And at this station, there's a lot of fucking people, and the BART gets real fucking crowded sometimes. It's almost like the subways in places like Japan. So my friends rush down, and I finally get down, and this really fucking sucked, because if this hadn't happened, we could have easily avoided everything else that happened. So once I get down, the BART that we're supposed to take, that was going to take us home, was already there, and it was too late. It was packed with people, and it was just starting to leave. We also had a small chance of getting on it too because it was fucking packed, but we still had a chance. So basically we missed out on our ride, and my friends were pretty pissed off, and I was just fucking pissed off at all the people because they were fucking crowding everything up and there was just a lot of people, and I just felt pissed off too, and I just needed something to be pissed off as well. But I'm not going to lie, that was totally my fault. I went down the stairs pretty slowly because I didn't want to risk falling down and eating shit and making a fool out of myself. But it was totally my fault we missed our ride, and I apologized to my friends about that afterwards. So now we had to wait for the next one, which was coming in 20 minutes. So we just stand there and wait, and it was pretty depressing because we missed our ride and there was a lot of people in there and they just all looked fucking depressed as shit and pissed as shit. You know, your usual public transportation, and we just try to blend in with the crowd. So then me and my friends hang out by the escalators, and we just stand there, and we see straight down a BART police walking towards us, and he had his uniform on and everything, and he's just walking straight towards us, and he's walking casually. So me and my friends are like, oh shit, this could be it. But the guy was walking casually, so we hoped he would just pass by us, and me and my friends just try to act normal, and I try to make things less sketchy, because I'm not gonna lie, we look like a bunch of teenagers who look like we're up to no good. So I go to the other side of the escalator, and I pull out my phone, and I start acting like I'm in some important call. And then the guy stops in front of my friends, and that's when we knew we were fucked. So the BART police asked my friends if they had BART tickets, and my friends say yeah, and they call my name over, and that's when I got in it. So my friends told me to take out the tickets, and they were hoping that the tickets were going to convince the BART cop that we paid for our tickets even though we had the cheapest fucking tickets. So I'm looking through my backpack for the tickets, going to give this a try, and it's taking me a while because I had so much shit in there because I had money and coins and bus passes. So I'm looking through my backpack for the tickets, and I'm taking a while, and then the BART cop just says, "Come with me." So that's when we knew we were definitely fucked. So I'm still looking for the tickets, hoping that he will believe us. So as I'm looking for the tickets, we all go up the escalators, not knowing where he's gonna take us. We thought we were going to be taken into some room and have to call our parents to pick us up or some shit like that. So we're going up the escalators, and the Bart cop says, "Why did you guys hop it?" And me and my friends, we already know what we're going to say when it came to something like this. So this is what we were going to stick to. This was our excuse. We told the guy that we weren't from there and that we were tourists and that it was our first time being in Bart and that we didn't know and all that shit. And then I found and pulled out the tickets, but the Bart cop wasn't having any of it. So then the Bart cop says, "You guys aren't supposed to hop. That's illegal." So then we told them we saw other people do it, so we thought we could just go in, and then we told them again that we were tourists and it was our first time and shit like that. So my friend has his hand in his pocket, and the Bart cop tells him to get his hand out of his pocket, and my friend starts arguing about that for a little bit with him. So then the Bart cop tells us, "Oh, so just because you saw people walk in without paying, you think it's okay?" And we just stuck to our story. We were like, "Oh, we didn't know, we never been here, we never used Bart," and we kept saying things like that. So then we're finally up on top, and then I thought the Bart cop was going to have us get arrested or give us a big ass ticket or make us call our parents or something like that. But no, thankfully, when we got on top, this is what the Bart cop said. He said, "Get out." And me and my friends were like, "Wait, what?" And then he said, "Buy a ticket or get out." And I was just so relieved when he said this because I thought we were gonna get in bigger trouble. But then my one friend, the bigger one, started doing some stupid shit. He started throwing a fucking fit and he was like, "Wow, what the fuck? We have tickets. This is fucking bullshit." and me and my other friend just told him to shut the fuck up because the guy could easily change his mind, but he decided to just kick us out and we could have gotten in bigger trouble. So yeah, my friend still tried to put the "we have tickets" excuse. So we're leaving the BART station, and we go up another set of stairs and escalators, and we're planning to go to the next BART station and just hop that, but I stop my friends and I'm like, "Should we just buy the cheap-ass tickets just to get through? I mean, we're already here, and if we go to the other stations, it could be risky because the BART police could notify all the other stations about our presence." And we thought about it, and we were already here, so we were like, whatever, we're just gonna buy the cheapest tickets just to get home, and once we get to that other station, we'll just hop on out of there, regardless if we get caught, we'll just make a run for it. So we go to the machine to buy our ticket, and as we're walking, this really fucking pissed us off too, because as if we weren't already pissed off, we're kind of pissed off and relieved, but this made us pissed off. But as we're walking to the machine, we just saw two different people walk through the fucking emergency exit that we got kicked out of, because when we got kicked out we had to go through the emergency exit, but we just saw two fucking different people walk through the emergency exit, and the emergency exit was pretty close to the ticket machine. That's how we saw. So once we saw that, me and my friends were just like, wow, what the fuck, and it just really pissed us off, and it was just really frustrating. Not to mention that the first time we tried to get in, there was a girl with some big ass bite that went through the emergency exit. So we buy our tickets and we get through, and this was another thing that fucking sucked. So we go down to wait for Bart, and once we go down, the Bart that we're supposed to take was already fucking there again. And if I could compare this to anything, it's like almost like that fucking episode from SpongeBob where he's stuck in that town he's not from, and then the bus just keeps passing by and passing by and passing by, and he can't get on the bus. It was kind of like that, but it really fucking sucked, and it just pissed us off. And there's so many fucking people coming in and out, so it's impossible to even try to get in this time. And there's even a messed up line of people waiting to get in, and there were just so many people, and it was packed. It was, like I said, it was like it reminds me of places like Japan and like India where their fucking transportations are all packed. So the BART then closes its doors and it's packed with people, and so it just leaves. So we missed our ride twice, and we had to wait about 20 minutes till the next one came. And this time it wasn't really my fault, but it still fucking sucked. And then there we were again waiting for Bart, and this time it was 2 times more depressing than last time because of all the people and all the people that fucking got in, and we were the ones that fucking got caught. And we just missed our ride twice, and it just really pissed us off, and gosh, it was just a really shitty situation. So the BART finally comes, and we take it home, and we get to the other station, which is the hardest station to get through. And me and my friends are like, you know what, fuck it, who cares? If someone's watching, who cares? Let's just hop that shit. So we get there, and there's a lot of people getting out, but we just hop that shit, and we're out of there, and there's no workers watching us or nothing like that. So yeah, we just get to our city, and we got some food, and we just went home. And other than that, it was a pretty nice day. So that's how we got caught, and the whole scenario was just really shitty and unfair, and we got caught in a BART station that I would never imagine ourselves getting caught in, because we always get through that one easily, and I'm just glad we just got kicked out instead of some other things, because who knows how much trouble we would have got in. And BART is real fucking anal about their consequences, so hopping, from what I've heard, is like a $500 to $2,000 fine, or going to jail, or both. And this day overall was really fucking awesome because we explored these abandoned buildings and some shit went down, and yeah, it was pretty fun. It's just that on the way back home we got caught hopping BART, and it just really fucking sucked, and it pissed us off, and it was just unfair and stupid. And that's not gonna stop us from hopping BART. We still hop BART. For example, like a couple weeks ago, me and my friends headed out to San Francisco again, and we hopped all that shit. And once we headed back home, we hopped it, and we needed to get off at this totally completely different station that we never been to and we didn't know about because we were getting a ride at that station. And we get off at this station, and we're trying to hop out of the station, and it seems pretty risky and sketchy because the emergency exit was right next to the booth, and there was a lady inside the booth. And we just walked towards it, and the lady had her back turned around, and me and my two other friends just fucking walked right through. And if that lady would have turned around for a split second, or if we made any noise, we probably would have been fucked. But yeah, that was pretty risky because the lady was right there, and we were so close to her, and we just fucking walked right through. So we just made it. So anyways, that's how me and my friends got caught by BART police, and I'm not even sure how they caught us. It was most likely security cameras, or maybe they just saw us hop because when we hopped over the glass wall we did make some pretty loud noise and it did cause some attention. Or maybe it could have been the janitor. But I doubt that though, because it was most likely security cameras, and where we hopped it was pretty noticeable. Not to mention we made a lot of noise. So yeah, that's how I got caught by BART police. It really fucking sucked, and it was just really fucking stupid, and it was unfair. But hey, it is what it is, and I'm still doing what I do to this day. So anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed. Peace out.